Hi, my name's Louise from Sincerely Louise, and in this video I'll be showing you how to make a slipknot. A slipknot is the first thing you'll do before starting your knitting project, and to make it you'll just need your yarn, knitting needles and a tape measure. Slipknots are great for knitting because they create an adjustable loop, and this will actually become the first stitch on one of your needles. If you're making Project 1, the Phone Cozy from First Time Knits, make sure you check out the materials you'll need section on pages 8 and 9 before starting this project. Once you've got your yarn, needles and tape measure, then you're all ready to make your slipknot. To make your slipknot, you'll just need your yarn and tape measure, so pop your needles to one side for now and we'll come back to them later. The first thing you want to do is grab your ball of wool and find the tail. It can be a bit tricky the first time, and sometimes it's even hidden in the middle of the ball. Using your tape measure, measure approximately 60 centimeters or 24 inches of the yarn coming from the ball. Starting at the tail, measure that amount. Remember, it doesn't have to be exact, it can be just an approximate. Once you've measured it, lay the yarn out in front of you, and towards the end of the yarn tail you want to make a loop. And what's really important is that the yarn tail runs under that loop, and the yarn from the ball runs over the top of it. Then pinch the loop in your right hand, and using your tape measure, measure approximately 10 centimeters or 4 inches away from it. At this point, you want to make a second loop, this time with the yarn coming from the ball running over the top of that loop. So you'll have two loops, one with the yarn tail running under it, and the other with the yarn from the ball running over it. Pinch the first loop in your right hand and the second in your left, and thread the second loop through the first from the underside. And this can feel really tricky, but you're just taking that second loop and threading it through the first from the underside. Then using your right hand, grab the loop that you thread through, and in your other take the yarn from the ball and the yarn tail, and then using your right hand pull the loop. This will create your slipknot, which is adjustable by pulling the yarn coming from the ball. If you pull the yarn tail, that will just tighten the knot. If you keep pulling the yarn coming from the ball, you'll eventually lose the slipknot, which is what I've done here, but that's okay because I'm going to show you it again. Towards the end of your 60 centimeter or 24 inches of yarn, make a loop with the yarn tail running under it. Then pinch it in your right hand and measure 10 centimeters or 4 inches away from it, and at this point make a second loop with the yarn coming from the ball running over it. With the first loop, the tail will run under it. Then thread the second loop through the first from the underside, and using your right hand, grab that loop, and in your left hand grab the yarn tail and the yarn coming from the ball, and then pull that loop, creating your adjustable slipknot. So you can change how big or small you want it to be, and that's why it's great for knitting. Then all you need to do is turn your slipknot around so that the yarn tail is on the left side. Grab one of your knitting needles, doesn't matter which one, and place the slipknot onto it. The yarn tail will be on the left, and then you can adjust the slipknot using that yarn coming from the ball to make it nice and snug on the needle. And once you've made your slipknot and popped it on the needle, you're ready to head to my next video, which is casting on.